For decades, there have been brands who have been like an integral part of Indian households. But that is not through just their products, but through the trust they have built over time. But as consumers are changing, the way they discover, choose, and engage with a product is changing too. And for legacy brands, evolving without losing that familiarity becomes critical. Crompton is one such brand that's aiming to strike that exact balance by entering a new phase under a unified master brand identity. But what does this mean for the brand? And what are they aiming to change? To talk about all of these, we are today joined by Tanmay Prusty, Chief Marketing
Hi.
Officer at Crompton Greaves Consumer Limited. Welcome, Tanmay.
Hi.
Thank
Thanks,
you for
Antura.
speaking to Impact Magazine.
My pleasure as well.
So Tanmay, we should start, of course, with the new identity. So Crompton has built trust in Indian households over years. Just tell us what made this time the right time for a new identity, and what kind of new differentiation, what kind of new positioning or communication we will see under this identity that Crompton is entering now.
So I think we've had an extremely proud legacy of over 85 plus years in India. So we've been here for a really long time, and we've had great patronage. It's the trust of consumers that has made us the world's #1 ceiling fan company. It's that patronage that has made us the #1 pumps company in India. We're also amongst the top 3 players in lighting in India, amongst the top 3 players in kitchens in India. So you see, we are now operating in many different parts of the home. From living rooms to bedrooms to kitchens to bathrooms to even outside with solar pumps, solar rooftop solutions, etc. Some of our newer businesses. What this means is that consumers are interacting with Crompton for solving different needs. And therefore, one cohesive master brand architecture really helps us bring all these solutions together. And each of these solutions then act very well in tandem to help strengthen the Crompton, proposition with consumers. And that's really been one of the key triggers for thinking about comprehensive master brand, thinking about a brand that actually is helping solve various different needs across the entire home. Starting to think more about a home solutions brand rather than thinking about category specific conversation. So the master brand allows us to do that. That's one. The second thing is also our company is evolving and so are our consumers. We've our patronage and the fact that we are still leaders in so many diverse segments is a fact and is a testimony to the fact that we've kept evolving with times. As consumers change, their expectations change, home setups in India are changing. That's one dimension. The other dimension is our business units are changing. We might have started with lighting in India, then we went on to acquire leadership in fans, and then we entered many other segments. But today we operate in a hell lot more of segments as well. So we are getting into diverse new categories like solar pumps, solar rooftops, wires, etc. So all of this also is yet another opportunity to bring in one cohesive comprehensive brand identity, and that's where the master brand comes into play.
Okay. If you can tell us about the research and development phase a bit, what was the thought put into this?
Yeah, so the multiple facets to this. Clearly, with Crompton 2.0, which was a pivotal moment in terms of our strategic conversations, where we called out our willingness to try to do things in a very different way. One of the charters from there was to actually work on brand excellence and consumer centricity. Okay. As we decided to pivot and become a much more consumer centric organization, one of the things that we decided to put in place was that marketing will go in from the last step to the first step. This means that we will start by working consumer backwards. This means we will start by developing a comprehensive consumer understanding. To that extent, one of the pivotal things that we did was a comprehensive UNA study. It was a study where we met over 18,000 consumers. It was a study where we collected over 750, 800 hours of consumer audio and video research, over 30 million data points. All of that helped shape a lot of our brand thinking. All of that helped shape a lot of our consumer thinking, a lot of our product thinking, R&D thinking, etc. as well. And this was just one exercise because we've been clearly engaging in a lot of these exercises over the period of time. So we comprehensively arranged all of this in terms of our new product roadmap. We comprehensively arranged all of this in terms of our brand positioning exercise, through which we decided what's the kind of conversation we want to create for our brand and how do we take it forward. So yeah, that possibly tells you how we kind of got about designing our new products, how we got about designing a new brand proposition.
Yeah, and with this new identity, Crompton is also going ahead with a new sonic identity, that is MOGO. So sonic identities have been a part of Indian marketing for a long time. So what was the thought behind it, and how did you come up with it?
So I think, like I said, the Crompton brand is evolving, and this new master brand is one step in that evolution. We thought it was a great moment to also present a much more comprehensive brand identity. So it's actually got, so the entire master brand repositioning involves many elements. Some of the elements are the new monogram, the new emblem that we've launched for Crompton, the new tagline, which is an illustration of our promise and our renewed North Star in terms of what's the kind of products, what's the kind of experiences you'll be able to see from the House of Crompton. Along with that, we thought it would be amazing to actually have a nice sonic identity, a sonic expression of that same repositioning of that same tagline. So that's how the sonic identity came into being. It's one additional touch point through which our consumers can know of us, and I think we'll continuously look to invest in it.
Okay. If you can tell us about the logo a bit, you just told us that you are coming up with a different logo. So, if you can tell us about the typography and what does it signify?
Yeah, so the new monogram, the new emblem for Crompton, we internally call it the Cephyr. The Cephyr comes in from two words, the blue sapphire, blue being the color of Crompton, as well as from Zephyrus, which is the Greek god of wind. So that's the nomenclature. But what you really see is a monogram, which is a very modern, contemporary expression of our brand thinking. If you see, it is a stylized C. The stylized C stands for consumer. You clearly heard that consumer centricity was one of the pivotal elements for Crompton 2.0. So C is a homage to consumer centricity. C is a homage to customers. We have great partnership with channel partners. C is also a homage to connectivity and to the care that we will bring in our consumer and customers' lives through our products. In some sense, that was the thinking behind the stylized C. And of course, the stylized C is how Crompton's name also starts. There's an infinity logo embedded within the stylized C. That infinity logo is our expression towards endless possibilities in terms of what you will see from Crompton going forward, towards an unwavering promise to bring amazing things to our consumers' homes, etc. And that's really got manifested in terms of the new monogram, the new emblem.
Okay. But I would also like to know, with this new identity, will there be a shift in the look or the features of the product, or is there a new kind of a vertical or a portfolio that being launched?
No, so we're doing a bunch of things. This emblem will start appearing across most Crompton Greaves Consumer Electrical Limited brands. This emblem is going to become a property of Crompton Greaves Consumer Electricals Limited. This emblem is a manifestation of the kind of innovation that we aspire for, and you will obviously see translation of this in meaningful products for consumers to experience and to actually use at their homes as well. That's one. We are also launching a premium brand around the same time. This is a new platform to unlock the next phase of premium growth. That's Crompton Rayon, that gets launched along with the monogram as well.
Okay. Okay. So if you just come to the marketing part of it, what kind of campaigns has been planned around it? What we will see? There be a television campaign, TVC, or we would see more traditional OH campaigns, or is it like more on digital?
I think distinctive brand assets don't get built overnight. We are now supplementing our Crompton brand asset with this monogram, with this new tagline, and with this new sonic identity. I think we are interweaving all of these three together. You will see many creative expressions of this, whether it's in outdoors, print, or television assets, or digital films, etc. This is a creative expression that we are going to honor and that we're going to work with for a really long time, and therefore you will see many such expressions of this across mediums.
Okay, but if we come generally to Crompton, how is it media mix divided across digital and traditional? So, what do you prefer more? And when it comes to profit, which platform delivers the most?
Yeah, I think we don't box ourselves into traditional media or new age media.
Okay.
Being consumer centric also means that you go where consumers are. You go with consumers' media choices as well, on how they navigate media. So it's not like it's just a television approach or it's just a digital approach. All of these mediums have a role to play because they have a distinct role and identity in consumers' lives,
Yeah.
and I think that's how we leverage it. So where television can bring you scale, it can bring you reach. Digital can bring you personalized conversations, it can bring you contextual conversations. Print and outdoors can again reach you out in isolated territories. It also appeals a lot to some of our channel partners, etc. So all of these mediums have a role to play, and we look at deploying this appropriately in our marketing mix.
Okay. So, as we started the conversation with familiarity and trust that Crompton has built over the decades, so I just want to know that when you're planning for a change, it also has some kind of a risk that consumers might not feel it or engage with it. So, how do you decide what to retain and what to like fundamentally change when it comes to going for a new identity?
That's a great question. One of the biggest things that Crompton has, it's its proud legacy of 85
Yeah.
years. It's the trust that's got built over reliability, durability, and great consistent performance across many decades, across large epochs of time. And that trust doesn't come away easy. Clearly, we see this as an evolution of our expression. We've got a new monogram coming in as a distinctive element, a new tagline, a new sonic, but we've retained the brand trademark. We've retained the same expression of the Crompton name as well, because we are building on the foundations of the past. We're building on a rich legacy. We're building on a rich element of trust, reliability, durability.
Correct. Yeah. This new brand identity and the series of products you have mentioned is just coming right before the festive period. So, do you have anything planned for the festive season that we are heading into, and what kind of changes do you feel this period offers if we compare it to the previous year?
I think this festive period is a very interesting period. I mean, there's a larger meta trend that's happening. Festive is no longer just getting limited to one large Diwali season. It really
Correct.
starts very early. Whether it's starting from the e-commerce sales festivals or whether it's starting from the local festivals that local retailers, modern retail chains, etc., are organizing. So festivals have started beginning quite early. Sometimes literally as early as June, July. So just having one Diwali campaign no longer works. You got to be present consistently across the entire festive period.
Yeah.
You ultimately, the aim for the brand is to win a little more of the shelf space, then win a little more in terms of a bit of their heart, a bit of their head, and hopefully then translate that into a bit more space of their home. That's what we are aspiring for as brand Crompton.
Okay, I have heard this fact that right now, Generation Z, Gen Z, they are forming a huge consumer base for a lot of brands. I don't know if that is true for Crompton, but they are occupying a bigger space in the market now when it comes to consumers. So, brands are planning their campaigns according to their language, Gen Z's language. So, is Crompton planning something around that?
I think as a market leader in many categories that we operate in, or as a very, very large player in many categories that we operate in, we need to speak to all types of people. We need to
Correct.
speak to multiple cohorts of people, and we've
Hmm.
been successfully doing that. That's what's helped us reinforce our leadership. We've been doing that through multiple ways. So, for instance, if you have a look at some of our digital channels, some of our digital content, etc., you'll see some great, for instance, celebrity influencer content. You'll see a lot of AI generated films. You'll see some great extensive moment marketing. All of this done in tandem and in line with the Crompton brand principles. So that's a conversation that we have, and like I was telling you before as well, right? Digital allows you a lot of contextual conversations, allows you a lot of personalized conversations, etc. So yes, different mediums for different purposes for different consumer cohorts, and we leverage all of that together.
Okay. You mentioned about influencer marketing campaigns. So, do you also plan for this new identity? There would be a face for the brand, maybe a brand ambassador from the celebrities.
I think we are our biggest brand ambassador. I think what we do in terms of our products, what we do in terms of our promise to our consumers, honoring that, I think, is the biggest service that we can do for our consumers. And I think that's the way forward for our brand.
Okay. And this category, I mean, it's going towards premiumization as well. So, what are the plans around that from Crompton?
I think premiumization is a word that gets used quite often.
Yeah.
I think moving from unorganized to organized is a type of premiumization. Trading up is another kind of premiumization. Buying premium products is another kind of premiumization. For us, premiumization is not really about adding another feature, making a design look very nice and pretty, adding something smart, and building a reason to increase price. For us, it's about building a meaningful interaction, building a meaningful reason for a consumer to purposefully upgrade his or her product choice. That, I think, is the ultimate step in terms of premiumization, and that happens across all elements of the portfolio. If I can trade you up from unorganized to organized, that's one job of premiumization. If I can trade you up from buying, let's say, an entry level bulb or batten to, let's say, a ceiling light, that's another level of premiumization. If I can build you to actually start engaging with my premium brand that I'm launching, which is Crompton Rayon, that's another level of premiumization. I think premiumization for us means actually working through all these angles.
Again, when it comes to energy efficient products or smart appliances, how within this new identity, how is Crompton repositioning itself with the smarter appliances?
I think, like I said, consumers are evolving, their homes are evolving. So we see a lot of meta trends. I think energy efficiency is one meta trend, like you picked up. The need for smart products is another trend. The need for good looking, design oriented, design led innovative products is another cohort. And I think we've been working through all of them. If I could tell you, my BLDC fans, for instance, are classic examples of energy efficient fans. If I were to, relay that example a bit more in terms of how we made them smart. So, for instance, it's not just about making them smart; it's about making them smarter. So, we were the first to actually introduce reg mode fans which can be operated with both remote as well as regulators. That's
Yeah.
another example. I can talk about the same smart example in the context of pumps. We had IntelliSense pumps. IntelliSense pumps actually sense water level themselves, and then they switch on and off on their own accord. That's another layer of smartness that's being worked on. We have an interesting product called the Air IQ chimney. It Homes are getting compact, kitchens get compacter, and when, let's say, an ambient environment deteriorates due to cooking, that's when the Air IQ meter wakes up. It starts the chimney, it sucks away, cleans up the air, etc., and gets to work. It's a product which is smart. It's a product which is convenient.
Yeah.
It's a product which is really meaningful in consumers' lives. So you see, all of these are some examples or some manifestations of how products are working around energy efficiency, smart. For instance, we were talking about design as well. We've got the Fluido fans. They're made with some great ABS plastic materials, etc., which is a fantastic way in which we are democratizing design. It's a Red Dot Design Award winning fan, which is democratizing great design-led products for all cohorts of the society.
Okay. Uh, so while with all of these products, there's you brand pull is one thing, but then you also need that on ground push when it comes to sales or business. So how do you maintaining or striking that balance?
I think on ground push and brand pull are, for me, actually two sides of the same coin, two sides of the growth engine for the organization. I think when great products meet great advertising coupled with fabulous retailer endorsement, that's when you get sustainable, and long term growth. And to that extent, I think these are all critical aspects that actually work in tandem and play onto each other as well.
Okay. So this consumer electrical category has been relatively volatile, and the segment is seeing approx 3 to 5% decline. Um, in parts of FY26, because of some external challenges. But as a marketer, how do you see this category, or how are you reading this category right now? What kind of key growth drivers do you think you'll see in the
I
future?
think the larger Uber trend, Antara, is actually around expansion of this category. That's
Okay.
coming in because of many trends: increasing urbanization, rising incomes, changes in people's homes, increased home ownership. All of these are actually secular factors that are driving growth. So that's the long term trend. You may have some seasons which go here and there, but the long term trend is of a deep positive. In terms of seasonal volatility, well, of course, weather is becoming
Yeah, yeah.
volatile. But if you look at the Crompton portfolio, we've got a beautiful portfolio. So we've got fans for summers, we've got water pumps which work extensively again in summers. You
Okay.
come down to monsoons, which cut down summers. You've got water geysers, electric geysers, storage geysers, instant water geysers that help us in that season. You come down to post monsoon, it's extremely humid. You've got a lot of other products to complement that. You get down to deep winters where again room heating solutions, water heating solutions come into play. You
Okay.
supplement that with categories like kitchen and lighting, which are generally all year round categories,
Correct.
but actually light up, no pun intended, especially in the festive period. So so you see, you through your portfolio of products that actually solve different needs at across the various elements of the home, you actually build a less volatile, deseasonalized business as well.
Okay. So now, if we come back to the master brand identity, so beyond communication, what kind of role do you see master brand uh, playing in shaping business outcomes, and how will you track its impact?
Yeah. So, for instance, the master brand is also our expression of our intent to where we want Crompton to go to. So,
Hmm.
if you look at and deconstruct the story of the monogram,
Yeah.
you see how it talks about connected, how it talks about infinite possibilities,
Right.
which gives us great license to open up and drive innovation as a conscious choice. That's one. You see the nice tagline below it: amazing every day.
Right.
We're actually talking about bringing amazement to your entire day. It gives us license to actually build products that help solve different problems in different parts of your day.
Hmm.
Again, if you see the specific expression of amazing every day, you see the nice Wi-Fi symbol on top of I.
Yeah.
That's again an expression of our intent to make fans, lighting solutions, etc., the ecosystem of smartness
Hmm.
in homes. You see how E has been written. It's a stylized E, which is an interpretation of the electric plug, which pays nod to our electrical heritage. And what that tells us is that it gives us license to actually again operate in various parts of the electrical goods industry. And you will see some of this manifest in our product choices. You will see some of this manifest in some of our category and market choices. That's really in some sense an expression of our strategic intent as well.
And it's very interesting that the I and E, one is representing the heritage, and the other is connectivity to the present, like evolution.
Yes.
Okay. So finally, as we move ahead with this new brand identity, what kind of challenges do you anticipate? Anything that you foresee, and something that can become a hurdle in the way? And how are you planning to address them?
I think I don't see this as a challenge. I think this is an evolution. This is an expression of the same old trusted Crompton in a nice, bold new way. That's the creative expression, and I think it's important we stay its course, and it's important we stay true to the promise that we are talking about.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Tanmay.
you so
That's all
much.
from my side, and all the best for Crompton 2.0. And I would love to see the campaigns that are
Thank you
happening
so
next year.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.